Now, the case involving 3 former SARS executives in the Pretoria Regional Court continues today. They face corruption charges in connection with an intelligence unit that operated more than a decade ago. The men are Ivan Pillay, Johann van Loggerenberg and Andries Janse van Rensburg. eNCA's Erin Bates is at court. She joins us now with the very latest. Erin, I think it's perhaps important, just for the sake of our viewers, to take us back and give us a reminder of what these charges relate to.
Yes, so if we go back to 2007, this all kind of comes to a head around the installation of equipment at the NPA's offices in Silverton. That was done by a gentleman who was paid by SARS, and that was during the week. He had a moonlighting job doing this intelligence installation and did so at the NPA offices. And the question really is, was he authorized to do so and by whom? One of the questions that, if this case goes through, we'll seek to answer. But the real nub or crux of the whole matter is this so-called rogue unit, and that term has become so popular in the South African lexicon, but in fact was part of what has been deemed a smear campaign, that term being used repeatedly in Sunday newspaper articles in order to discredit a high-risk, high-intelligence division of SARS, which was looking into tax evasion by criminals, abalone poaching, and also people who were politically connected at the time.
So, Erin, these 3 accused, they were last in court back in April. Has anything new emerged since then?
Well, what happened when we were last here in April is that we learned of some of the witnesses that are on the NPA's list. We also heard from Pindi Low of the NPA, who was emphatic that they had a legitimate concern around criminality on the part of these 3 accused, and therefore they were forging ahead with the case and were confident that they had legitimate grounds in order to do so. But among those 41 witnesses that are on the NPA's list are the likes of Trevor Manuel, Jonas Makwakwa, Tom Moyane, who we've just heard about, former SARS head, and also, some of the people who we've come to know have been involved in the Celebi case. So an interesting slew of witnesses here. Also a SARS official who was dismissed in connection with rhino poaching. So an interesting list of people, some of whom may not have that much information on what actually happened with the installation of that equipment in the NPA's offices. There are only about 4 or 5 people on some reports from Scorpio of the Daily Maverick who really know what happened and may be able to answer those crucial questions on what went down, who authorized it, and how it was paid for.
Now, Erin, the NPA said there was an indication of criminal elements, and that's why it was enrolling the case. But why would the reasons for the NPA enrolling the case even be in question?
Yes, it's all broadly around this issue of the so-called SARS wars, the tussle between SARS at the time around 2007 when this installation equipment was put into the NPA offices. At the time, there were allegations that it may be because the NPA was looking to what the then Scorpions were doing, the now disbanded Scorpions, and their investigations of senior politicians in the administration at the time. So there's a whole storm of inquiry as to why these charges were brought forward. Some people, including, counsel for the accused, arguing that it may be on political grounds, a sort of witch hunt for people who are not sympathetic to the previous administration. But if the charges are dropped, then that may add further fuel to the flames that now a current administration is more sympathetic to the accused and they've been let off. So if the NPA does have a solid case, it will need to soldier on through, perhaps for the sake of showing good face.
All right, well, thanks very much for that preview. eNCA reporter Erin Bates is live to us from the Pretoria Regional Court. That's where those 3 former SARS officials are appearing again. They are Ivan Pillay, Johann van Loggerenberg and Andries Janse van Rensburg. More updates from that court and from Erin throughout the day.